Do you know that kind of feelings, guys, when you want to clean up something and like you hold on to something so hard, you don't want to let go, and your hands going to get burned and you start to bleed, and eventually the universe going to kick you in the butt and it's going to force you to let go. So that's what's happening right now because Venus is going to conjunct with the South Node in, actually not Venus, it's going to be Mars conjunct with South Node in Virgo. And Virgo is the sign of perfection and criticism and details. But right now, because Mars is over there and it's going to actually, and South Node, which is the heavy karma, something from the past, and it's Saturnian in favor, and it's going to say right now, listen to me. Right now, you don't have time to detail cleaning. You cannot even put gloves on. You have to clean up everything immediately. You're forced to do it, and Mars is quick. Mars are going to require something really quickly, right? So this is actually something which is like it's enough. You carried this karma so long, you have to get rid of that. All right, welcome back to my channel. This is Cosmic Inside Astrology. My name is Christina. So I said I'm sharing the chart over here. And actually, I made the chart smaller because last time I realized the chart was way too magnified and you barely saw something. Don't mind the host system, guys, because of actually erected the chart actually to Miami. I live in South Florida. So obviously the host system is not going to be you don't have to mind it right now. But if you live in, obviously, in a different country, different state, you have to erect the chart for your state or for your country. All right. Or you're just going to watch that for your rising sign, sun sign, and moon sign. That's also perfect. Going to tell you if you are watching that for the rising sign, because I always do Holstein astrology with every single prediction, then you are watching that for your whole entire life, the way it can unfold recently. If you're watching that for your moon sign, that is your subconscious, your fears, your tears, your emotions, your homeland, your home security and real estate and family matters as well, and the roots. And the sun is anything about your vitality, career, father figure, and the moon is also the way you mothering and your mother figure as well. So that's the beginning. Also, I would like to mention that if you're new to my channel, right, then I'm doing whole sign tropical astrology. And I always going to bring in some kind of asteroids because I truly believe it can actually affect the prediction because asteroids are giving us a very deep layer over here. So you have to know when I'm actually analyzing the chart before and when I'm thinking how I'm going to present that for you guys, I check every single asteroids which is within 3 degree orbs. Usually I use, if there is a lot of asteroid I have to analyze, then usually I use the closest it is to the conjunction or to the aspect. Obviously, it's better, but I go actually within 3 degrees or maybe sometimes even a little bit more. And I always check the fixed star if we have any fixed star in the degree. And I'm talking about the decans and also the Sabian symbols as well, because it's different layers, guys. And I always teach everyone who is coming to my channel. So you learn with me. So that is actually, we always going to analyze the aspect itself, right? We always to analyze the decan. I explain what is that shortly, like we don't have to talk a lot about technicality over here, but also I'm going to come up with the keywords of the aspect, very important, and also the mythology and the archetypal energy as well. Because that's how you actually capable to do prediction when you are understanding the mythology and the archetypal energy as well. As you see right now, Mars and South Node. South Node is mathematical point of the moon, right? It's not a planet. and it's associated with karma. It is the gift that we are bringing from previous life. That's what's very familiar for us, and it's very hard to let go because it feels safe. But it's Saturnian in flavor. It's your karma. And North Node, obviously, which is right now transiting Pisces, and it's always going in opposition. The nodes are in opposition in axis energy, always going to retrograde motion. Like, I don't know, like every 6 weeks, every 3 weeks, there is a tiny little period, a day, 2 days when actually they are moving. Not retrograde, but direct motion. But that is an karmic opening for us. So we always have to look for those kind of openings as well because it has a very, very significant meaning. All right. And then I also have to tell you when I did a really, really amazing prediction about the South Node and North Node changing shift to Virgo and Pisces. I'm gonna actually put that below, and you can watch it again because there is a lot of information. But yes, let's move forward and let's talk about actually, South Node and Mars. And then we also going to talk about actually the asteroids and Achilles, Orcus. Nessus is in Pisces, opposing Achilles and Orcus actually conjunct with South Node and Mars, which is already heavy over here. And we have actually a square with Hygeia in Gemini and Musa in Gemini. And we also have, a square with Lamia and Bounty in Sagittarius. So we're going to talk about those asteroids as well. And, I'm going to mention talent over here as well because it's also in 18 degrees Pisces. But, it's not that significant only on personal level, but definitely not on collective level. It's not going to give a huge significance over there. But that's what we're going to talk about right now. So, all right. So, okay, let's start and let's see what we have to talk over here. So, all right. So, this is actually starts a synodic cycle, right? And as we actually talked about, the South Node is the tail of the dragon, it's karma. And it's, also in Virgo, it's the healer, but the healer servant. And it can feel like running into your own past, and you are getting really, really frustrated. Why? Because you are perfectionist with that South Node over here. You don't want to let go of perfectionism, and it's a chronic fixing. You always want to. We feel like we always want to fix something, and we're trying to, return to the same energy, but does not serve us anymore. We have to give that energy up already. So, this aspect actually could call back old stories, but something to do with actions, something to do with calculation, with rage, something to do with nitpicking, that's the Virgonian energy. And then you are passionate about something, but you are not productive because of, everything is get delayed because the South Node is in Virgo over there. And then, you have to let it go. And what's done, it's done already. It ends, and you are not reliable anymore for whatever in the past. You have to let that go. And the cleanup is not necessarily always ours. Sometimes you just have to, burn bridges, and we have to actually leave things behind what doesn't serve us anymore. But the keywords over here, because Mars in Virgo archetype is actually, you can call them the sacred technicians, you can call them the warrior monks, also, the combat medics, for example. Those are the reformers, also the analysts. But uh, the analysts who are going to turn anger to service because of, like, for example, they analyzing the recent geopolitical issues. They see a lot of suffering, and they have a lot of anger and resentment, and because of they don't know what to do with that, they start to serve other people. And recently I realized that, guys, like, when I'm very mad, I go and I go to homeless shelter. And right now, recently, I found a new charity, and it is single parents with children who are low income families. And I go to this non-profit and I organize the closet. We are finding homing for them, or they paying, but I have them obviously for 1 2 months rent somewhere until they can stand up on their own, and helping with them foods and everything. So when I'm really angry with someone around in the neighborhood, because there is a lot of pinhead living around and I can't really deal with them anymore, then I just go to help. So that actually, this is a really good outcome for South Node in Virgo. The anger is going to turn into service, right? All right. And then also, the themes of this is the old karmic loops, anything to do with overfixing, overdoing, overpleasing others has to end. Actually, the South Node, it is you have to um, shed your tears, your skin down. It is also some kind of skills without soul. Why do I say that? Because Virgo sometimes could go so detailed and, doing everything like a robot. So it seems like many times they working, overworking, overdoing everything. But, it could be something like, especially with Mars. Mars is very angry, very aggressive. So it could be a lot of skills, but like robotic without any kind of soul. And there is also the illusion of control through perfectionism. So that's what we need to let go right now. Because of being punished for mistakes, that is actually the archetype of this kind of conjunction, and it's a synodic cycle, as I mentioned, because of the nodes are going around the zodiacal cycle within 18 to 19 years, and Mars usually needs 2.5 years. It depends how long is it gonna go to retrograde, every 18 months, 2 years, and then that's it's going to affect the speed of Mars around the zodiacal cycle, but definitely in Virgo right now, and it is in 19 degrees. Actually, it's going to be in 19 degrees 37 minutes, right? So the archetype over here, because you know what is the mythology about Virgo. So Virgo is actually linked to the goddess of Astrea, and Astrea was the last of the immortals to leave Earth during the fall of the Golden Age. And she represents justice and purity and the longing to bring order to chaos. She held out hope for humanity, but when the world became too corrupt, she fled to the stars. And that's what we see right now, guys. The world is extremely corrupt, right? That's what we see. Look at the Epstein files disappeared. There is no more Epstein file. Look at Didi's chart, and not chart, but verdict. I mean, come on, they let go of everyone who is corrupt, but don't worry about that, because I truly believe in punishment. And during this conjunction, we already going to start something. And because it's a synodic cycle and it's opposing the North Node, the collective shift over there, what we have to together, you also have to know it's going to unfold within 8 months to 2 years. Mars has to come back either to the certain point, or Mars and South Node has to conjunct again. And most likely it's not gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen no, not one more time in Virgo. It's gonna be actually in Leo next time. All right, yes, it can be in Virgo anymore. But all right. So either Mars gonna come back to the point of 19 degrees Virgo when it's gonna get totally unfold, or when they're going to conjunct again in Leo, because the next X is gonna be Aquarius Leo. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. So yes, so that is when the world became too corrupt. Astrea left the Earth and went to live in the stars, in the sky. So obviously, that's the theme right now, right? And we also have to talk about the Sabian symbol. And the Sabian symbol, what we have to check is the 20 degrees because we also always going up 1 degree over there. And the Sabian symbol of Virgo 20 degrees is a caravan of cars headed to the west coast. All right. So what does it mean? There is needing knowledge for coordination, right? And the West Coast, that is also representing the West world. And the West is very, very corrupt right now, right? So the West also represents many times a better future. So I remember when I was living in Eastern Europe, we always admired the West. Oh, if I can go to Western Europe, or if I can go to America to live over there, everything and sugar and candy and beautiful. And it's not, but you need to leave it to realize, all right, the grass is not greener at the neighbor's yard. And you have to actually water your own grass and it's gonna become green. So the growth has to come within, and you don't have to always travel to different places to or wait for the future or tomorrow. It's always tomorrow, the any songs. No, you have to do the change right now, whatever you have with, and to have a better life. But yes, so that's what it is. The Sabian symbol is the caravan of cars headed to the west coast. So it is a collective momentum because many people are trying actually to go to a different destination. We are living under globalization, and also we're going to see momentums like people, because of either war-related, geopolitical, political refugees, or it could be weather-related refugees, but people going to create exodus. Even the North Node is opposing this South Node Mars conjunction, and North Node in Pisces is exodus as well. So, and because of Pisces representing weather-related and water-related disasters, obviously it could relate to that as well. But it's not going to be like single momentum of people looking for asylum, in different countries. It's going to be like significant amount of people. So a caravan, it's a lot of people together trying to reach a different destination, right? So that is actually for the better life, because of the West always representing better life. And even if it is, the South Node and Mars is actually in Virgo, and the South Node is with Mars representing, oh, I don't know, I just forgot my thoughts over here. What did I wanted to do with better life here? Karmic change. Okay, I gonna come back to that because I know I had a thought over there for a moment because I was talking about this better life, and then I lost that thought. All right. So, but this is actually the Mars conjunct South Node in Virgo in 20 degrees. It is just like, not to be perfect, let go of, details and criticism and self-criticism, because it's going to create, we don't have to be overly responsible, and we don't have to run on guilt. Because it's going to actually make us exhausted, right? And sometimes Mars and South Node conjunction, that was the fight thoughts over here. It's not even or fight. Sometimes we are fighting for something, or we are hanging on something which is like not ours. Somehow we think it's sacred duty for us, or it is a responsibility of ours, and very, very necessarily, but actually it's not ours. And if you get distance from the issue, the problem, the country, the family issue, then you will say, oh my God, why did I fight over here? I actually victimize myself, and actually I sacrifice myself for something what someone else should have fight for. So, if we are actually checking right now, how can it unfold? It could actually unfold different ways, because as I told you guys, you always have to check what does Virgo rules. Virgo rules the sixth house, and Virgo ruled by Mercury, right? And then the sixth house rules, for example, private hospitals, healthcare, pets. That is your soulmate, that is your colleagues, your tenants, your roommate. That is also your rental properties as well. It is gym, juice bar, yoga studio. It is also, if you are checking for the collective and in mundane astrology, that representing healthcare, the union, and it's also representing the military defense as well for the country. Okay, and Mars also military defense or drones itself. Like ammunition, guns, things like that. So when we are checking something, we have to know the keywords of the sign, and you have to also know the keywords of the house. And also Virgo is healthcare, but Virgo also rules the wheat and the rice fields as well. So obviously when you try to brainstorm and do a prediction, you have to know the keywords over here. So definitely the healthcare strike is going to erupt again. Anything to do with nurses and doctors, on the field. Maybe they are underpaid, maybe they are overworked, maybe we're going to have a new pandemic because of so not also karma. Mars is something to do with, it could be something to do with poisoned wheat, or there could be some kind of E. coli issues, which is creating sepsis or things like that. And there could be a new pandemic with it, and then obviously the doctors and nurses going to be underpaid and overworked, and that's why the union, because the sixth house is also the workers' union, obviously they're going to rebel or they're going to protest about it, right? It could be also some kind of whistleblower for pharmaceutical companies as well, because don't forget the South Node and Mars is opposing the North Node, which is in Pisces, which is anything to do with hospitals, hospice, pharmaceuticals, oil, things like that. So actually it could create some kind of drilling, and the drilling is creating oil spilling, right, in the ocean. It's opposing the North Node. And Nessus is also over there at 20 degrees, 21 degrees Pisces. So that is trauma, that is karmic trauma and betrayal, and it could some issue coming up. But also the pharmaceutical companies, because it could be something to do with leaked documents, and it's showing manipulated data, just like I read that in the Kennedy file right now. And I told you guys I was so into Kennedy like crazy. I was literally crazy for him. And I was like, oh my God, such a smart guy and everything. And when I learned that, it was manipulated data, I got so angry because of this is also my word. I'm teaching people and I'm advocating for others who are actually betraying us and lying. And not everything is lie about Kennedy. He was amazing. He got compromised, obviously, but he did have a lot of amazing researches, and he fought against corrupt government and everything. But in this case, it could be definitely some kind of pharmaceutical, manipulated data over there. And Virgo South Node wants the truth. Definitely, because of they are very detailed. And Mars going to bring in the blade, and that is going to be like the public reaction, for example, because they don't want to, be silenced anymore. But also, it could be something to do with sanitation and maintenance of the workers somewhere. It could be anywhere in Europe or Asia, or actually, it could be somewhere in maybe underprivileged countries or third world countries, where is sanitation and it's terrible, or they are working actually in horrible circumstances. And it's going to come up. We're going to learn about that. It could also affect the public school system. And why can it affect the public school system? Because Virgo actually ruled by Mercury, but Mercury also rules Gemini. And because of we also have, and Gemini is public school system, and we also have Hygia actually in Gemini, and it's squaring with this South Node and Mars over here, as you can see. So anything to do with outdated lunch program, for example, why? Because hygiene protection, or I know that in America they're taking about affordable lunch or free lunch for the underprivileged children. So it could be something very, very terrible, but that could be also sanitizing, like the water is not clean, what the children are drinking in school, right? All right. And pet health, could also, so there could be some kind of new infection which is affecting our dogs, or and it could be some kind of stomach or gastro issues because it's Virgo. So some kind of stomach issues, where it could be something found in pet food, guys, which is actually killing the pets. Maybe some kind of poison. Careful. I'm actually feeding Cosmo raw. Lately, he's very annoying. He doesn't want to eat the food anymore, so I have to start. I started to cook again for him. So he's pain on my neck, this dog, but I love him to death, and I will do everything for him. But it could be something like that, right? Uh, and then it could be something to do, as I said, because it's Virgo, it could be some kind of new gut inflammation. But don't forget, because Virgo rules actually wheat. Wheat is gluten, right? Or it could be something to do with the rice crops going to get under fire, and actually we're not gonna have enough rice, for example. It could also decrease the rice and the wheat because of there could be some kind of Mars is bombing, Virgo actually the military defense, and when they are actually transiting, and North Node is in Pisces, obviously that's ocean, they transiting the wheat and rice with big boats, and it could be either a pirate attack, or it could be, unfortunately, the military, right, bombing somehow or accident, and then they sinking the boats, and it could be some issue with that. But it could be a recall of rice is poisonous or wheat is poisonous because it's contaminated with something, too much Roundup, or some kind of Mars-ruled infectious disease, could be with digestion as well. And by the way, it could be another issues with military personnel leak footage, right? Like something to do with mistreatment and medical unit. We saw that in Gaza, obviously, what um, you know the other country did with the medics over there, and killed them and put them in open grave. Um, and there is the cover-ups, which is we're gonna see it. And Mars rules the soldiers, actually. Those are Saturn is the general and Mars is the soldier. So we're going to see that, and Virgo going to expose that, and so know this karma and responsibility and opposing Nessus and North Node. It means it could come to justice, because North Node in Pisces is jail time. So the footage, and after the footage, there is a lot of footage and nothing happened yet, but hopefully there could be something like, okay, they're going to be held responsible for those kind of terrible atrocities what they have done. But it could be also some kind of cyber attack, guys, because North Node and Nessus conjunct and opposing this South Node Mars conjunction, and Mars is aggressive, right? And because of North Node in Pisces, it's hospitals, and South Node in Virgo, it's private hospitals, and also something to do with your doctor, for example, the medical field. The how do you call that when you just go to the a general doctor, and that is the data actually going to get cyber attacked, and actually um, out in public. For example, everybody's data gonna be out in publics. And it could actually return the doctors to go back and do everything, handwritten charts. Um, Yeah, because Virgo is small details and cursives. It could be as well. And then what else could be? Mm, AI tech, and diagnostic also can get hacked during this time. And Virgo South Node over there says, okay, let's fix the tools before we going to go back. Actually, it could be some kind of false text testing as well, false resort, for example, because Mars want to bring everything up to speed. And very bold and very aggressive, and because of the speed over here, they didn't pay attention for details. So Virgo wants always accuracy, right? And then Mars wants to speed up, and then is the diagnostic text are not correct. And as I said, the food delivery is definitely could get striked. And as I said, either it could be something to do with because daily routines in cities going to get collapsed because maybe there is a fire or maybe there is a virus. And that's why actually it could be the delivery could become an issue, or actually because of that is the union also, and Virgo ruled by Mercury, which is driving and vehicles. So maybe there is going to be a strike within the drivers because they have no good condition to work, and that's why the food it's not going to get delivered or going to get spoiled in the cars, right? So that could be definitely an issue as well. But it could be also like it can hit the streaming platforms because it's actually squares with Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, we do have, what do we have in Sagittarius? Lamia, and we also have Bounty in Sagittarius, and it's squaring with it. So something to do with, and because of the square over there, Sagittarius rules the YouTubing and also, series as well, and it's opposing the North Node in Pisces, which is documentary, and Nessus is over there. Then it could be some kind of documentaries going to stream right now, and it's going to actually talk about immigrants, overworked mothers, for example. Yeah, so it could be another, or like. Invisible labor, the pain of invisible labor, for example, and that could be the mothers who are constantly working, but it doesn't count to be a job, and that kind of documentaries. And also, it could be some kind of extreme weather disruption as well, which is also could affect the supply chains as well. So, as I said, because Mars could be something with fire or drought, right? And also because of North Node in Pisces and it's opposing Nessus and disaster, and it's a fast event, flash floods, guys. It could be also something to do with hurricanes, monsoons, cyclones over there. And because also Uranus went to Gemini, we were, and actually right after this video, I'm gonna do another video about Uranus is Gemini. We're gonna have a lot of cyclones and tornadoes. So obviously, this could disrupt the food supply as well, and Virgo is food as well. So, yeah. Uh, and what else could be it? It could be something to do with military veterans with chronic illness, and they might going to sue the government for mistreatment. So there could be a lot of lawsuit coming up, or they're going to try actually right now. They're gonna have a voice to advocate for veterans. So that is really good. And then what else? It could be also some kind of, because of that is sixth house pets, it could be some mandate for global pets owners, for global vaccine mandate for pets. So we have to be careful. Actually, I would hate that because I know my cosmogat. the flea medication and the rabies. And I still do rabies because otherwise I can't travel anywhere and I can't leave him with anyone. But I do the few years depot rabies and I do detox him before and after. And I do that in free version. So I told my doctor she cannot give the whole entire for him, just like 2 weeks in. And I rather to pay more. I don't care, just like one part of the shots. No, okay. However, what I wanted to say over here, it could be some kind of, like, oh, how can I say that? Vaccine mandate. Yes, it's a vaccine mandate for pets. And, the pets could get seizure. That's what my Cosmo had, and that's why I stopped even the free medication. I do a different way to make sure he has no bugs. All right. And or it could be, like the internship. This is something very funny because you get a free worker for working for nothing for you, right? and it could be banned because of it is like, okay, it's not okay to have free workers over here. You're using those people. You have to be some kind of payment for those kids or for those people who want to experience or intern in your company. So that could also, Virgo could ask that and Mars demand that as well. Yes. The other thing is private insurance companies, could be like either new private insurance companies coming up, or, they can actually deny coverages, for example, or your rental property get denied the coverage of the insurance, or it could be something to do with your worker insurance. They're just not going to insure you anymore, for sure. And it could be also, because of it's opposing Pisces North Node and Nessus over there. And what is the exaltation in Pisces? It's Venus. So something it's diet pierce or diabetic pierce over there. And we might going to find some kind of side effect out about this diabetic pierce, which is very, very intense. And finally, we're going to know about the side effect, and it could create some kind of um, lawsuit. But yeah, that could be that. All right, and then we have to talk about. Okay, let's talk about the fixed star because there is a fixed star actually at 18 degrees Virgo, and that is actually the dog star, the hunting dog star, Asterion. And this is actually starry or stars means stars, and the chara because of also means joy in Greek. So it's the southern dog from the constellation of the dog star constellation, the hunting dog star constellation. And it is many times it has Saturnian and Venus qualities, first of all. So it represents great respect and service well given because it's in Virgo. So it is a yellow group star and fortunate, and it is also cares for material matters and careers, and has leadership ability and ability to conquer, and also ability to demand. It's a demanding personal ability and demand to become success through, details and through service for others, but also it could bring in some kind of melancholy, right? So, because we're talking about Virgo over here and over, because it's very centered person, and it could be very self-destructive as well, self-criticizing as well. I always say that, Virgo is perfect to clean up crimes because of if a Virgo going to clean an area, then, nothing going to, no evidence gonna be found over there. I'm joking with it, guys, but obviously when I analyzing, people, then, all right, so this person really can, clean up everything. All right, so this is bringing in some kind of positive opportunity with honor and success and recognition through hard work and details for us, for all of us, and for the collective as well. But it could also actually betray us because of, uh, self-destruction, because of the person is so overly criticized. And actually, because Virgo could be overly criticized, it could bring in violence because of if you keep criticizing someone, they're gonna attack you. That could be that as well. All right, and then we're going to talk about asteroids. And the asteroids over here, let's talk about Nessus, because Nessus is in Pisces and it's going to oppose this South Node and Mars conjunction. And Nessus is actually the wounded abuser in Pisces, abuse of trust and abuse of, there is a lot of power games and toxic cycles and inherited trauma with Nessus being in Pisces here. Because the centaur assaulted actually Hercules' wife. And, also that is and with poison in his blood that later killed Hercules as well. And then the abuser victim loop over here, it's very, very, very important. The seductive betrayer, the one that poisons generation. Guys, what's going on with that oligarchy? And I told you guys to read the um, Whitney Webb, or if you don't want to read, just listen. She has a lot of podcasts, and she is talking to Kate Harper and Amy Goodman and Dave Smith, and she was talking to a lot of people. Oh my God! And she's a genius. And One Nation Under Blackmail, that is 2 volume, and the second volume is like really make me puke because it's very recent. But read it because that's what it is. It is the wounded abuser. It is Nessus and Pisces. Because look at what's happening with the Epstein file and look at what's happening actually with the Diddy file. It's all connected and it is really, really disgusting. It is all, intelligence. All right, so we're going to have something to do with that. And we also have Orcus and we also have Achilles, and they resides right now in Virgo and they conjunct with South Node and Mars over here. And Orcus is actually the oathbreaker. Karmic oathbreaker, right? Because of the keywords over here is broken promises and soul contracts and consequences of the broken promises and death of integrity, right? All right, so why? Because of, I told you guys, Orcus for me is like Dexter. This is the Roman god who punishes those who break sacred vows, who didn't live up to their promises. And he is enforcing actually the unspoken deals. And so, Orcus over here with South Node karma heavy and more something to do with violence, going to punish the ones who broken the law. All right, what can it be? Hmm. Well, Diddy is going to prison without bail. What's happened with Epstein? Yes, he did kill himself, right? Definitely suicide. Everything disappeared. The camera went off. Yeah, all right. So Didi might have the camera off, might going to have the cellmate moved out that night, just like with Epstein, and he might going to be actually silenced, right? So that's Orcus over here, but Orcus could punish other rulers as well, and with a bold, violent force. And Achilles is the fatal flaw and the mortal pride over here because it's also the martyr complex and the ego wound and also weakness in strength as well. Invincible warrior undone, right? And very vulnerable because his heel was vulnerable over here. And this was the perfectionist who falls due to the hidden flaws. And that's what it represents, the mortal pride of Achilles here in Virgo. So somebody is so prideful and some fall become fatal for them. They're going to talk, 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 and then something, just a small not coincidence, there is no coincidence, but that it's gonna be one small mistake and it's gonna take them down. So the pride is going to take them down, right? And then it's going to square with Hygeia, and Hygeia is at 19 degrees Gemini. I'm just looking at my little notes over here. And hygiene, anything to do with mental health, it is cleanness and sanitizing, right? And it is also because it's in Gemini. Gemini is your mental ability, capability to like understand information, and it is mental clarity. It's mental hygiene, preventative healthcare, right? For example, a lot of issues coming from subconscious. It's mental most of the time. It's psychosomatic illnesses. And right now, we're going to focus on psychosomatic issues because we don't want to create actually illness in our body. So information about toxic, that could be also the information gonna be toxic, because if you watch a lot of news, right now I gonna limit myself twice a week. One of my friends said she only watches news once a week. I cannot do that because I need information, but at least twice a week, and then that's it. And definitely one of them gonna be the Daily Show because at least the way they are carry on with the news, at least I'm laughing, even if it is like annoying, heartbroken, or crazy. I don't even know what to say anymore. But like it has a little bit of uplifting way to tell us what's going on in the world with some kind of sarcasm and irony in there. Yes. So what is that? With Hygia. So she is actually the goddess of healing and sanitation. So she's also the medical intuitive, and especially in Gemini, right? And the head witch who is practicing something with holistic medicine, for example. Also because it's in Gemini, that's also the nervous system. So it's actually helping to keep hygiene the nervous system as well. And then we have Musa. We can talk a little bit about Musa. Uh, in Gemini, actually, it's 20 degrees Gemini. So that is the inspired mind. And it is channeling the genius inside. And don't forget, Uranus just went in Gemini. So it's traveling with Musa over there. Obviously, it's not squaring with this South Node Mars, but traveling with it. It's in the same real estate of the zodiacal zodiacs. Sometimes I'm losing words. Geez, I get brain fogs lately, and I have to do something about that because I don't like that. But definitely, it could be creative sparks, anything to do with the spoken beauty, poetic, because it's the muse in the words, guys, right? Okay, so it could be like activists, storytellers, channelers with mission right now. And we also have Lamia in Sagittarius, and that is actually a demonized woman, stolen children, rage, revenge, outcast, grief, sexuality. So the queen turned into a child-eating monster after Hera killed her children. And that is the cursed woman over here, a punished mother, a disowned feminine power over here. And it's going to square with it. So there we going to be a figure, a famous figure. Perhaps we're going to learn about who is a demonized woman, and we're gonna know what's happened. Maybe she stole a child, or it is something to do with a monstrous mother. It's an abusive woman, and we're gonna learn about that. And we're also gonna have bounty in Sagittarius as well, exactly the same degree. And bounty is abundance, guys. Bounty is, fertility, anything to do with privilege and overconsumption as well, and excessive. Bounty is almost like Jupiterian in flavor over here. Actually, it is Jupiterian in flavor. And it is an empire, but because of its overindulgence and because it squares with South Node, which is karma and Mars, it is it is a fated issue with an empire which going to collapse because of overindulgence and corruption. Okay, so that's what it's gonna happen right now. So, for example, what can it mean if we actually include all the asteroids and also Asterion, the fixed star as well? So there could be a lot of scandals around spiritual leaders, right? Someone prayers, anything to do with the Pope, anything to do with the Dalai Lama, or they don't have to be the biggest one. It could be just simple spiritual leaders. But Mars opposed Nessus over here. So somebody is abused power. Somebody actually say they are the peacemakers and they are actually the destroyers. Obviously, that's what we see right now. Who got nominated from who for Nobel Peace Prize? Peace Prize. I can't even pronounce it. So obvious, right? It could be also insurance or medical companies going to get cut, actually hiding long-term risk of medications, or it could be something with also the insurances. Hygiea is also there, and square of Mars, right? So anything to do with preventative care loss, or something to do with profits until the whistleblower speaks right now. So it could be like maybe more insurance person gonna get killed because Mars is there. It's actually going to square. And why do you do that with the people, with the poor one, who cannot afford food and insurance, and you still not going to, take their insurance and help them to get healed. So that could be, but also mass movements as well of survivors speaking out about, for example, abuse or anything to do with school assaults, school shooting. Orcus and Nessus is there. They oppose each others, and don't forget as well Achilles as well. With Orcus. So it's some kind of karmic exposure for some kind of mistakes, and that's going to make the public angry. Mars is there in Virgo, the public gonna become angry. It could be also something to do with toxic productivity culture is challenged by mental health professionals. So, for example, Mars going to conjunct Achilles and square Hygiea, right? So that is something to do with burnout. And burnout is not a bravery, actually. It is a wound, guys. It is really taking a toll on healthcare professionals or teachers or, anyone who is service for others. It could be also something to do with digital arts, poets, songwriters, and they're gonna go viral and they're going to exposing generational trauma through something with humor, maybe, or music as well, because Muse squares Mars, right? So it's spicy tongue, it's sarcasm, right? Um, but and it could be definitely stand-up comedy. And before, in my previous videos, I told you guys that it's gonna be a lot of stand-up comedies who are going to call out the massacres and everything, and they're gonna talk about the truth. They are going to be the warriors, and everything is going first on social media. So this war first, I mean, it's some for some people it's very physical, and they are living in terror and hell every single day, but it is going first for most of us on social media. Yes, anything to do also to do with around fertility, for example, because of we have um, Virgo, it's private hospitals over there, so it could be like fertility clinics. Usually it's 8 house as well, but somehow it could be involved, like um, um, something to do with the ethic of the surrogacy, for example. Or it could be also, there could be some kind of, who are they? Influencers, yes, influencers going to be taken down by the public because they have some kind of fatal flaws and it's going to be reviled. Achilles, they're going to be unmaxed and Achilles gonna be cut and they are the illusion is over, the purity shatters, and they're gonna be done. So that could be as well. And but as hmm, let's see. There could be also new laws around AI app, like, and those app could be something to do with either makeup or how to create beautiful skin, or it could be something to do with health as well, or it could be even meditate. Oh, you know what? It could be something to do with meditation apps, and maybe it is some kind of hypnosis meditation, and finally somebody realized there is at the hour free, because you go to sleep with those meditation apps, and there is some kind of program in it which is make people violent or killers or something like that, and it's going to be actually revealed. Somebody listens it. Many times I'm thinking about that when I put on actually those apps, and lately I just you know what, I don't want to listen because I fall asleep, and who knows how they're going to program my brain. And I don't have time to listen all the way at 8 hour. You can dismiss some information, so I'm just not doing that for sure. Okay, all right. And definitely, there will be a massive pushback against some kind of vaccination or something to do with toxic dietary trends, which is actually glorify, like the way you look, and some kind giving you some kind of class privilege. But people going to wake up because there is going to be a lot of side effect, and it's going to be a lot of pushback against it. Yes. But definitely, sex offenders could be revealed right now. And, and the film or art show going to glorify revenge. And for example, it could be like rebellion of women. For example, do you know that a bunch of women in India, Indian gang women who are actually beating up the abusers because they are violated all the time, and they became like a gang. And so, for example, they can create a movie, a documentary about those women who are standing up and rebel against, against their abusers. And that could be some kind of feminine rage, which is because Lamia and Mars, right? Lamia squares with Mars, and Lamia is the mother, the monster over there. I don't know, did you see that movie? Actually, it's called The Monster. That is actually a really beautiful woman who, I forget her name. She actually acted a lesbian woman who was abused and became a serial killer of men, and actually she punished everyone, even the innocent. She just hated men in general, but it could be something like that. It is like a cult, a woman cult, a feminine, rage cult, which is like, all right, we have enough from this abuser men, privileged men, what's happening with Epstein and Diddy over there. We are the victim. We have to do something against that. So it could happen as well. And that is the archetype here. That is the energy with South Node, Mars in Virgo, the Virgin, the sign, and got raped, right? So Mars is violated. So definitely it is like awakening some kind of revenge and vengeance and rage within, and we're gonna go against, the abusers. All right. And then Hygia Orcus. Yeah, talent, because of we do have talent in 18 degrees in Pisces with North Node opposing this South Node. It is like that is the part of the documentaries, the photography, the movie, the muse is coming from art, from poetic words, because it's squaring off obviously Hygia in Gemini, but anyway, it could become very, very beautifully orchestrated and through art and poetry. And oh, my birds came to eat Jumbo. I told Jumbo to fill up all the bird feeders and the bird water for me. And I have a lot of cardinal hummingbirds. I have two squirrels. I call them Michael and Mrs. Michael. I don't know why Mrs. Michael, but okay. And it's a pair. I have a crown pair, a blue jay pair. They are coming with their wives, and and they are very cute. And usually they let the wife eat first. You can see that who is the male and female by the color. And I have a lot of them. And right now a blue jay actually went on the pizza maker. And it is just chirping for me. So that is so cool. All right. But what I wanted to talk about, yes, I guess I talked about everything right now, but how about if we're going to analyze every single sign just for a little bit? So here is that for you guys, this is my little chart over here, and I just gonna spin that sometimes in front of me. I'm gonna go to Aries first, all right? Uh, all right. So what's gonna happen over here for Aries? So the Mars Sun Node conjunction going to happen in your sixth house, right? And it is anything to do with your work habits, health routines, and it is also your pets. It is so careful with the pets because some of you might going to have the pets in hospice and you have to put the pet down. But it is also the relationship with coworkers, colleagues, employees, tenancy, right? And you might feel a burning frustration with, like you are not efficient. You feel like you are overwhelmed. You feel like you are used and you are totally exhausted. And you have some kind of burnout right now, and you are asking yourself, what's going on? Am I like making this up, or am I really exhausted over here? Do I need to put boundaries and find my battle? So what do I need to do? But with Nessus actually is being in Pisces, and it's going to oppose actually your Mars node conjunction, and it's going to be in your 12th house, which is anything to do with your subconscious. It could be some kind of manipulation over there, right? Some kind of betrayal through colleagues because of 12th house is hidden enemies, right? So you might not see something. Somebody is gossiping or gaslighting you, and you sacrificing either your well-being or your comfort for others. And don't forget Orcus and Achilles because it's conjunct in your sixth house. So it's going to suggest like, okay, don't be proud because you're going to carry something with you. This is not your battle to fight, for example. And because Hygeia is in Gemini and it is going to square all of this, it is like make sure your words are healing. You can start to journaling or start just conversation with your neighbors or siblings to reconnect again, but don't attack, just listen and make sure you are actually um, don't gossip because it could create a lot of drama. You can share the truth though, right? So that's very, very important. Taurus rising sun and moon is going to happen in your fifth house and 11th house and 8th house and second house. So that is the axis over here for Taurus for you guys. So fifth house, anything to do with creativity, children, anything to do with joy, anything to do with lottery winning, with your lover, with your manager, and then the soul node over here, it's karma, right? You will going to need to confront is it your duty or pleasure? What do you have to choose? Okay, I have to drink a little bit. Maybe you are parenting actually from guilt, or you can creating some kind of obligation over here, or you feeling like your joy must be earned and you cannot just have simply like rest and joy over here, or you can become really angry with a child or with a partner, right? Or if you are an artist, you the muse is blocked somehow, or the muse is coming from anger and it's opposing Nessus in the 11th house. So there could be a group, anything to do with friend group or social media group who who can actually become a betrayer. Your ideas could be stolen. Maybe you shared your ideas and they dim you and they steal your ideas. So there is no loyalty in your community. And the community might not serve you anymore. And you just, okay, it feels like a friend stole something from me. So my Achilles actually got cut and it's not healing right now, right? And you were very, very proud and you didn't see that, even if you were reminded, don't trust that person, you still did. And the second house and the eighth house is coming here with Hygia as well. So it could be like you can have a new kind of gift, and you healing around self-worth, or you have a therapist, right? Because you have eighth house also bounty in the eighth house. And also it could bring in some kind of inheritance for you guys. Definitely inheritance could be coming in. But it's also like, you're not going to tolerate anymore disrespect, neither from group, friends group, or lovers or children. And you're not going to also, if you have a manager or agent, your art to to sell your art for nothing, for crumbs. You're not going to do that anymore. You rather to put that on the fire, but you're done. All right, Gemini rising, sun and moon. Mars and South Node is going to be in your fourth house. Fourth house, anything to do with family, homeland security, home. It is your real estate, it's your roots, it's ending as well. It could trigger some kind of issue with a parent, for example, or you can lose a parent, some of you, but it could also bring up some kind of wound from childhood, or it's going to repeat that, or you're gonna relieve that maybe because of you go to therapy. And you want to be the fixer of the family, but right now you realize, okay, I'm done over here. I cannot fight there, and I cannot cry there. Tears. That's what I tell Martin all the time. Darling, I cannot cry your tears. I'm here. You can always hold on to me to stand up, but you have to go through your own pain. And then the other thing is over here, Nessus going to be in your 10th house, and that is some kind of public scandal, anything to do with your reputation, and your reputation could have some kind of wound. So be careful. And Orcus and Achilles actually is in your 4th house. So, it is like maybe a family member going to sell you out, right? If you are in the public eye and talk something about you to a journalist, and they're writing about you and speaking about you, and it's going to shake all the foundation in the public eye about you. So careful. All right, Cancer rising, sun and moon. I don't want to talk a lot over here, but it's going to happen actually in your 3rd house and 9th house, north node, and then you're going to have 6th house and 12th house is the Nessus, and no, not the Nessus, Hygia, and what else? I forgot what else going to be there, but oh yes, bounty and muse. Okay, so that's what's gonna be there. So the 3rd house, anything to do with word is a weapon, knowledge is power, right? We were talking about that all the time. It is like you actually can snapping people with your words. You're going to be very feisty and really sarcastic. For example, in neighborhood, with siblings, classmates, careful what you are saying, because actually you can cut bond forever. It could actually backlash later on, because there will be resentment and you will become resentful, either because you weren't heard and you're just gonna be very snippy right now, and you were in silence, or it is just like right now you have enough and you just have to say something, but you're going to cut cords. And with Nessus actually being in your 9th house, 9th house is high education, older sibling, traveling, anything to do with immigration and worldview as well, and philosophy. So your philosophy might going to get challenged over here, or you stop believing in your spiritual teacher because, or your political beliefs. You were part of a political party, but right now you are manipulated and you have enough, and you are turning away from that. And Orcus and Achilles actually going to warn against spiritual bypassing, or staying in silent just to keep the peace. And right now you are like, no, I'm gonna talk up. And because of Hygeia in the 12th house, you might going to talk up through your poems or through your music or through your piece of art, the dance art. You are a ballerina or a ballet dancer, and you just going to create a choreography which is going to be, like a battlefield. And that's how you're going to hear through your art. Leo rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your second house, second and eighth, and then also 11 and fifth house, right? So the conjunction South Node and Mars is in your second house. It's your self-worth, its values, its morals, it's your money, it's your wallet, right? And it could feel like, some kind of old scarcity, something to do with money won't going to flare up. Maybe you were poor in your childhood, and right now maybe you lost something on a stock, and you're going to feel again like, oh my God, am I poor again? You're gonna be angry, and you're going to be angry because maybe you are underpaid or unvalued, and it feels like you are unvalued. And right now you're gonna have the courage to say, I deserve better. If you don't give me more money, I'm leaving. I don't need to prove my worth to you. I already have done, so you need to pay me. And Nessus is opposing this, and North Node, right? It is financial, joint finances and inheritance. And it is also intimate issues as well. So it could come up some kind of intimate issues which going to actually think of and like help you to rise from your self-worth, going to become stronger right now. And something with joint finance is like, okay, if somebody wants you to, your significant other to sign a prenup, you're going to say, you know what, we are not going to get married. I'm not going to sign that prenup. Is it like true love or I don't need your money, you can go, something like that. Uh, and because Achilles also pride, and it's squaring with that. So careful what you are saying, because you might not gonna have this opportunity again. So before you going to push away something which could be really beneficial later on, just because you are very pride, careful with that. And Leos, you can be very pride. My son has a Leo rising, and oh my God, that man is not going to break under anything. He's not bending, unfortunately, but Martin is Leo moon, Leo rising, Taurus sun, so he's absolutely fixed sign, and he also have the buffalo and in Indian and the ox. So that kid is like very, very stubborn. So don't be like Martin in this case, because of, you still can get some kind of benefits if you sign that prenup, for example. That's what I said. But, there could be some kind of toxic entanglement, definitely here for you guys. And, mm, with lovers or with friends, because 11th house, we have Hygia over here. So maybe a friend, lover or wife, or no, it's a new girlfriend of your friend, and creating some kind of gossip, and the friendship is over, things like that. So careful, because it could happen. Virgo rising sun and moon, obviously it's going to happen in your first house, so you're going to be really affected, just like Pisces. And then seventh house is your mirror, that's your reflection, that's your significant other, your partnership, legal matters, and that is also your social media followers. And the first house, everything about you, right? That is your body, that is the way you pretend for others, right? So Saturn and Mars over here going to combust, and it's a match of flame. It's anger, old anger, and anger what was buried for years, and suddenly right now it's surface, and you have to deal with it, and you're not going to be polite, or you're done carrying others and done swallowing your rage. You're just gonna talk and reclaim your energy, and also you're going to reclaim your boundaries as well, because your body is yours, and you're going to be mindful about that. You have to be careful with injuries and inflammations, because of Saturn Mars could become some kind of injury over here. But it could be also because of whatever was unspoken. It could create some kind of resentment and some kind of cancer, or some kind of health issues for you. But it's also opposing Nessus in the seventh house, and Nessus is very manipulative. It is a gaslight over here. So it could be like maybe your significant other, maybe one of your friend, one-on-one friendship, right? Maybe your business partner is gaslighting and very manipulative. And Orcus going to and Achilles going to actually conjunct with South Node over here and Mars. Don't be too proud, for example, not to see clearly, because prideness can actually make you to become a victim. So be careful, definitely. And but Achilles also there to show up real and not likable. You okay not to be liked. And Hygia actually, which is gonna be in the 10th house, it is saying you know what, I going to actually create my new career over here, and it is going to offer a healing through some kind of purpose, and you can rewrite your story, and it's going to it could become really loud and very beautiful. Libra rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 12th house, and also it's going to be in your 6th house, Pisces, and third house and ninth house also going to be involved by Gemini and Sagittarius. So Mars and South Node in the 12th. So it is your subconscious, hidden anger, suppressed grief, hidden enemies. You might going to feel a little bit edgy. It could be some addiction, but actually for addiction would be great because maybe some issue refers surface, but you go back to addictology and you get rid of karmically forever for any kind of addiction you had. It is some kind of noise in your head, and right in it could invade, in the dreams, have some kind of very heavy dreams and karmic from your past lives or something to do with wars. And maybe you are carrying somebody's as secrets and it's killing you, and you want to tell to someone, and you are ready to lash out and just tell it. And it could be also creating some kind of insomnia or some kind of sleepwalker. Careful not to, if you are, then make sure you are seeking for help. And after that, you feel exhausted. Obviously, sleepwalkers always feel exhausted. And with Nessus actually in your sixth house, anything to do with your workplace, health, and service for others, you feel like you are drained. You feel like, you are working too much. People are manipulating you. There is at the workplace, there is some kind of power imbalances, definitely. And, Orcus and Achilles is there, so you want to break the contract, something what was quiet and you cannot tolerate anymore, because there is some kind of microaggression with your tenants, a roommate, with your colleagues, and you're done with that. And it's Hygia is in Gemini, and it's going to remind you to educate yourself about everyone or mental boundaries and use some kind of spiritual protection, especially if you are in the same field like I am, helping others. Scorpio rising sun and moon is going to happen actually in your 11th house, 11th and 5th, and then 8th and 2nd, right? So that's who you are here with Scorpio, with these axes. And the 11th house is your friends, your network, your collective joy. It's money from your career. It is your tribe, right? And over there, you could be a little bit disillusional, with a group. You trusted with someone, and they are very dogmatic, very cult-like, and you outgrown them, and you don't want to play their game anymore, so you want to get rid of it. And Mars going to demand action, and it's going to be like, okay, you have to unfriend, unfollow these people, right? Because you have to protect yourself. And it could be also if somebody owes you money from career, and you're going to stand up for yourself or leave actually your career because you didn't pay you and you're not willing to pay for them for free anymore. Nessus is in your 5th house. 5th house is your lover, but also, it could be a creative collaboration. You might going to find a manager or an agent, but they could be actually someone who are betraying you. So you get a talent agent, but they take 70% of your talents, and it's or even 50. It's very, very unfair. Anything to do with, Achilles and Orcus, also staying in the 11th house, it says, don't stick with the project right now. Don't be so proud. Let it go. You don't have to have, right. rope hurt with your hand because of it's going to bleed, and just let it go in time on your own values. Mose and Bounty in the second house, it is like a sidekick, some kind of sidekick job or gift, a new gift, which is going to give you more morals and values. Your self-worth gonna grow, and you're going to be like, you know what, I can perform, and I gonna have money anyway. Sagittarius rising sun and moon is going to actually happen for us. Virgo is in our 10th house, and then Gemini is in the 7th house, and we are Sagittarius rising, so it's the first house, also the Musa and Hygeia there, and North Node and Essos is on a fourth house for us. All right, so anything to do with career and reputation, you might feel like, okay, I'm done with this collaboration with someone. I'm my boss, or if you have a boss, or you're working for someone, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm tired of tiptoeing around that authority figure, or I'm doing all the work, and like they don't speak out for me, or they are not professionals, and I'm just done over here. Um, Also, if you've been climbing the ladder, you no longer believe in this is your cue to pause and realign right now, right? And if you had some kind of political career which doesn't align with you, like just let it go. Career, you might going to just, if you work for a corporate, a firm, you cannot be there anymore because it feels like suffocation. And with Nessus actually in the fourth house, that's family wound. Something is entangled with your ambition, something, some kind of pressure, which is like, all right, it is actually helping you to succeed because, you feel like you never been loved, or, you carry a legacy that doesn't fit you anymore. And Orcus and Achilles also is in South Node and Mars in your 10th house. So it is like, all right, so don't be too proud. Don't hold on to a career which is like doesn't give you anything. You have to rewrite your own history. And Hygeia in Gemini in your 7th house, it is your significant other, mentorship, coaching, anything to do with your partner, with your business partner, or actually it could be like your significant other itself. And it's squaring, so it is like, are you going to support me in my work and in my, are we together in this game, or do you want me to leave? Because don't forget, Uranus went to your 7th house also there, so you want a lot of freedom and liberation, and you're not going to take shit anymore, that's for sure, Sagittarius. So yeah, that's what it is. Capricorn rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 9th house, and Nessus and North Node in your 3rd house, and Muse and Bounty in your 12th house, and then Hygeia in your 6th house. Okay, Capricorn. So higher learning, belief system, politics, publishing, global affairs, anything to do with immigration, right? Older siblings, long distance traveling. All right. It could be also like you're going to question your ideologies, anything to do with political ideology as well. You are dropping mentors, you feel like you don't want to be controlled, you are walking away from religious and cultural institutions as well. You're done, okay? Even if you've been in a school, for example, maybe in higher education, and you just don't want to finish that university anymore. So it's outdated. It's outdated dream. You stop battling with that, okay? Bureaucratic, and you don't want that anymore. And Nessus is in your 3rd house, and it is gaslighting. It is like, you know what, maybe you just have to study something small. Maybe it has to be a workshop, or multiple workshop. You don't need university. And there could be also like a sibling going to undermine you, maybe with words, and then you have to put the sibling or the neighbor in the right place because they are keep mucking on you. And Orcus and Achilles also in your 9th house. And it is like, what? Just because of you were raised with this religion, don't hold on to it. Don't be too proud. It's all right. It's all right to let it go. And Hygeia actually in the 6th house, it is going to give you healing. And it could be healing through meditation or detox, anything to do with journaling, or anything to do with juice bars and yoga. You can start something new right now. And bounty and music in the 12th house, you can create actually a recording podcast. You can create, like write a script, for example, and poems and a piece of art. Aquarius rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your eighth house. And North Node, it's in your second, Hygiea is fifth, and Bounty is in your 11th. All right, Aquarius rising, eighth house is intimacy, depth, shared resources, psychological issues, the detective, tax, debt, taboos, miscarriage, anything to do with abortions as well. Some of you going to go through miscarriage and abortion, some of you going to lose someone because so Node and Mars, it's very karmic. It could be also some intimate issues coming up from the past, and you have to have a shrink, and you're gonna go maybe with your partner to a sex therapist. Maybe you're going to, just get rid of some kind of sexual trauma from the childhood because it's get triggered right now, some kind of old fears around that kind of trauma, and you're gonna purge, right? And then with Nessus actually in the second house, your self-worth and your survivor instinct is going to actually get stronger with this eighth house South Node and Mars opposing that. And also money is going to rise as well because North Node is there. So you might going to realize, the pricing that you gave before, it's not good enough for you, and you have to earn more. And you were shameful to value yourself, but right now not anymore. And Orcus and Achilles is in the eighth house. It is breaking the silent and breaking the promises. It is like confrontation. It is like, okay, I fight for myself. I'm a survivor. I have to stand up. And then you have Hygeia in Gemini in the fifth house, which is creativity, anything to do with writing a song, paint what hurts, and dance what hurts, right? And Muse and Bounty is in the 11th house, so you can go and do that with community, with friends, actually. And Pisces rising sun and moon, my beautiful Pisces, it is in your seventh house, right? It is your mirror that is the familiar for you. That's your significant other. That is legal issues. That's your alliances. That's your friendship as well. And your subscribers, if you have any. And North Node is in your first house with Nessus, but the seventh house is partnership. It is some kind of conflict with a business partner or with your significant other. It could actually become some kind of passive aggressive situation. You don't talk, right? Or it could become like, all right, you know what? I'm done over here. I want to get separated. You speak up, your voice not shaking anymore. You done. And then a business partner as well, or even for your clients, you might going to fire some clients, guys, who are demanding, who are always complaining, never changes, and you don't have time for them anymore, or you don't want to waste your time anymore. And then it could be like Nessus is opposed actually in the first house, right? And so North Node is over there, so it's deeply personal, it's very confronting, and it's really a gaslight, and it is everything about intuition and emotions and your subconscious. Your old identity stories has to be gone. It was too emotional, it was too much, you have to shred it. And then Hygia in Gemini in the fourth house, something to do with healing from home, from your ancestry, from your family. There is something, maybe you have to cut the bonds with family member, but it's also very good to sage your house during this time and clear out all the childhood clutters, for example. Actually, I'm a Pisces sun, and that's what I did. Whatever I get from people who are, later on felt like betray, or I really regifted that, or I put it in actually for charity. I never throw out anything because it's a use for someone, and what is actually toxic for me, not necessarily toxic for someone else. So I was like, okay, I'm getting rid of that energy, but that could happen with you as well. But you can actually also be heard your voice, and like try something like a platform for yourself because of 10th house for you, anything to do with your work, and you have bounty over there in Sagittarius, and it is going and muse, so it's going to be like um, stories matters and your publicity going to become beautiful. You might going to have a lot of followers because of your voice, and your platform actually going to reflect who you really are right now, and you're going to have a lot of followers. All right, guys, that's what I wanted to say. And I already working on the 2026 videos. I already written all the general horoscope. I already written all the 12 financials, and it's available right now for purchase. And actually I try to do that during the weekend to put everything on my website, so you're going to be able to purchase it. I already did the calendar as well. That is came out beautifully with the artwork. Ian did the artwork, and it is very, very detailed. All right, and and the horoscopes are absolute, like very detailed, because when I do the um, so the way I write, I start on January 1st to write the next year astrology forecast. So I want to be ready always middle of the year with it. And then I bought two transcribers, but so I paid a lot of money. But the transcribers didn't understand my accent. So I was so mad, and oh my God, I wanted to break my computer. I was like, this is so ridiculous. Everything which is technology should make your life actually easier, even if you have knowledge. But obviously, like you don't want to always do the grammar, correct it, and I put it in Grammarly, and it's changed the structure, and it, lunation became lunching, or lunch, or luncheon, or whatever, or oh my God, it is just like crazy. So it just doesn't want to understand me. Then Martin told me, Mom, the most amazing, you purchased a lot of things and you shouldn't have, because actually Google Doc is have an accent friendly listening. So whenever I'm doing readings, I have already everything written out, all the aspect, everything, and I go by sign by sign. So first is Aries, and then I say, okay, which sign, which house is it going to be on? All right. And then I talk a little bit and I record. And then next day I record again. And it's writing it out what I say. And right now it's understand me, not all the time. So 80% it's understand me, 20% I still have to rewrite. So it's a little bit annoying. And then I have to, like do that and I'm not doing it with Grammarly anymore, because that's absolutely idiotic and changing your wording and structure. I do it with Atticus. So I actually bought that for my books editing also. It's really not changing anything with your wording, but the grammar is correct. All right. English is my second language. So obviously I do have grammatic issues. I still have grammatic issues. And then so it's a lot of work. It's like 120 pages, but I did also the financial as well, which is only around 50 pages each, but very, very practical. I tell you that month or that day, which stock or which crypto could be actually in the limelight, or could go actually increase or decrease the value. When is short sale? When do you not do you have to, because don't invest in anything what I say, but like and in the general I also mention a lot of medical issues as well. So you will see, but it is really, really beautiful. And right now I started to record, so my voice is absolutely like out of control, because I talk all day long, and I have my client and my children and husband. So guess what? That could be a little bit annoying. But thank you so much to being here to listen to me and support me. I see all of you. As I told you guys, I do see who supports me, who shares me. You can share me, like any kind of Facebook astrology group, or any kind of Rumble, or anywhere you want to. And if you do that, I always going to gift something. So I can gift my 2026, and I'm going to do right now in August, I'm doing the 50 stocks and the 12 to 20 crypto for a year. So you can also purchase that. But obviously, if someone keep pushing my channel, I going to appreciate that and gift something for you. So thank you for your subscription. Every single comment and like going to help me. And it's gonna help me to grow my channel and to work with you guys. Talk to you later. Bye for now.